It's the first snow of the season. It's like always my favorite day. I loved it. So I'm looking out the back window here, enjoying it. It's actually sleet. It's not actually snow. But I'm going to say it's the first snow of the season. Do you know the difference? Do you know the difference between snow and sleet? Well, I'll tell you. So rain is rain. As it's coming down, if it freezes on the way down, the little rain drop stays circular, spherical, and then it hits the ground as sleet. When hail comes down, you'll notice that hail is usually much bigger than a raindrop. That's because that's a raindrop in a cloud that goes up and gets circled around because it's really turbulent air. And it goes round and round and round, kind of like in a washing machine. The raindrop freezes, then it goes around and collects more raindrops and gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's finally too heavy to stay in the cloud, and wham, big hail. Freezing rain is when it's rain, but when it hits the ground, then it freezes. Snow is snow, you know that one. Rain, sleet, snow. Ice pellets, same thing, that's sleet. Anyway, first snow of the season. I miss you girls. I'm out here looking out at the window thinking of you right now. Hence, the camera. I'm sitting here doing my morning routine. Oh, I'm still waking up, obviously. Turn this one off. There we go. That's better. So, bear with me. I'm half asleep. I woke up at whatever it was, 4:30. Oh, October 30th, 2024. I got the date right because I said it before I started the camera. I woke up at whatever it was and I'm like, all right, fine, let's get the day started. And went and took a shower. And I have this thing where, oh, hey, girls. Miss you. I love you. I have this thing about putting on clothes before I've aired out. If my skin is still damp, I don't want to put my clothes on. There's a reason behind that. And I'm all congested, too. Anyway, I'll get back to why I don't like the clothes on when my skin's wet. So I go back and lay down. Okay, air out. And the next thing I know, my eyes kind of shut and the head pops up. 6:10. Oh! All right, okay, I guess, yeah. We'll go ahead and let's turn this one down a little bit. Now we'll get the day started. So, splash some water on my face. Came down here and I need a Gatorade because I am severely dehydrated. No caffeine yet. It's coming though. No, is it coming? Start my morning routine. Sit down. Did some online stuff for work and then wanted to see what was just going on in the world. My ways of finding out what's going on in the world: 9gag and YouTube. Those are my sources of news because I just don't trust regular news anymore. I let other people, either be it on YouTube or on 9gag, tell me the news. And other citizens, so to speak, seem to be the best source. Anyway, this video popped up. And it put me in a mood. Like, right before the camera started, I was watching this video, And it's just angry people. And it's usually these people who claim that they're tolerant and that they're the people that are supposed to be the nice ones. They're always the meanest. They're the most vicious. And one of them said, anyway, if I look like I'm in a mood, that's why. Because that, that shit's contagious, right? It's contagious. Bad moods are contagious. You gotta fight it off. Wear a mask. I see. Maybe it's got to be because there's an election. No. This has been going on for a while. But maybe because an election is close. It's next week. I think it's a week from today or yesterday. Yeah, a week from yesterday. Then all this crap, no, probably won't be. I don't know. It's so, it hurts me. It really, no shit, it hurts to see people so angry and nasty. I'm trying to remember if I told you the analogy about love and money. It's something I came up with. I can't remember if I told you that or not. I've told a lot of people, and a lot of people laugh at it. They don't think it's legit. Well, whatever. Okay, stop stammering. I'll just tell you. But remember, I'm still waking up here. How do I look? Oh, this eye is sore for some reason. I think I slept on it. I haven't put my makeup on yet. So, excuse me. That came out of nowhere. I didn't even feel that one coming. Love and money. There are real versions and there are counterfeit versions. And the analogy between love and money is remarkably similar. Follow along with me. I don't have a set speech on this. This is through discussion with other people and just reflecting and meditating and those kinds of things. But let's start with money. When you're young, your savings account is empty. There's not much in there. You might have inherited some, who knows. But it's your parents that initially give you that money. Then you can go out and spread it. You can buy gifts for your parents and in a way give it back to them, right? Same with love. As kids, we cling on to what the people that are keeping us alive and they show us love, and then fairly quickly the babies start giving it back. Grace, I remember the first time you gave me $100 bill of love. I will never forget that. In fact, what it was, I don't think I have told you this, but you were born, and up to that point, everyone was telling me, oh, it's your first kid? You're going to love this kid so much. It's just going to ooze out of you, and it's going to be amazing. Well, you were born, and Mom was around for about the first 3 or 4 months, and then I became the primary caretaker. And it became very frustrating for me because you didn't want me. I mean, we became friends after a while. That's what I'm getting to. But initially, when you were born, when you were young, you had a nanny, and you took to her, and I looked after you. Mom looked after you, of course, but that's who you wanted. You wanted Mom. And you wanted Mom because you wanted the real deal. You didn't want a bottle, especially when you were really young. And I'd pick you up and hold you, and you would do your noise. That was your noise. I learned how to corral that pretty quickly. But in any case, it was probably 9 months to a year. Maybe around 1 year old. I'm just feeling like, this freaking kid doesn't even like me. Because in the analogy, I was trying to give you money. I was, here, money, 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 money. Love, 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 love. Come on. And if you ever do that, well, you want it back, right? You give people money, you expect that they're going to give it back, they're going to go use it and whatnot, right? You can't just keep handing out money without some sort of income. You need to get love in order to give it out. And so my savings account was starting to run low on love. One night it was, in Columbus, Ohio, you were getting sleepy and it was time to go to bed. You were about 1 year old. And Mom grabbed you. I can picture the entire scenario because I replayed it in my head so many times. Mom picked you up, started to walk up the stairs. And I came around and she's walking up the stairs and I came around and we made eye contact, me and you. And over Mom's shoulder, you were over her right shoulder, and I was right there. You reached out and went, ah! And I can't, even right now, I can't tell you. You reached out for me for the first time ever. And it was overwhelming. It wasn't $100 bill. You handed me like $1 million bill. Like that. And my love bank, my love account skyrocketed. I was as wealthy in love as I could possibly be. And that lasted. Still lasts, as you can tell, to this point. That's the wonderful thing about real love. But that's the point that I'm getting at is in order to give out love, you have to get love. You have to genuinely feel like you're getting love. And oftentimes, here's the catch, it's counterfeit. It's not the real thing. Because a lot of people don't know what real love looks like anymore. Just like a $100 bill and a fake $100 bill. Which one? I mean, sometimes it's a Monopoly money. You're like, I don't want that. But when you get real money, you should be able to spot it. When you get real love, you should be able to spot it. Now, a lot of people have confused it. What I mean by that is I've talked about this a couple times. No, I didn't save it. There's a video. But that lights me up a little bit better. I've talked about it a couple times where girls, especially, want to be told they're pretty. I watched a video of a girl who was upset because she was about to turn 30 and nobody had wifed her up, is what she said. She was really sad about it. And her words, I watched it a couple times because I wanted to make sure I was hearing it right. She said, I want somebody to sit across the dinner table from me and tell me I'm pretty, to love me. She combined the two. And while being told you're pretty is a nice compliment, anyone can do that. That's counterfeit love. That's not love. She thinks she's been taught by society that being told she's pretty is love. And it's not. A lot of men and a lot of women think that being intimate with somebody is love. Nope. Literally anybody can do that. A lot of people think that just enjoying the company of others is love. No. There are people I love that I can't stand to be around. I love them dearly. And there's the two types of love. They're very, very close. But there's the intimate love, and then there's the other kind of love. And there's, people that I just love, family members, and I will not be around, but I love them. How's that possible? Well, we'll get to that in a second. And then there's the thing of getting gifts from people. People think, oh, getting gifts. I like the presents I'm getting. I'm in love. Nope. Anybody can give you gifts. Some people even think that just not getting any crap, as long as people aren't giving you any shit about the way you live and telling you you're doing awesome, that's love. And it's not. All of those things might happen when someone loves you, but those acts in themselves are not love. Do you remember Star Wars? I know I just went off on a complete tangent, but this is important. Star Wars, the first one that we watched was the one where we had Rey and Han Solo and Chewbacca came back. And then Han Solo's son actually ends up killing him. Spoiler alert. But Han Solo dies a very, very sad death. And Amy, you were the one, you were so young. What were you? You would have been 2017, so you would have been 6 years old. Why did he have to die? Well, he was going to die anyway, right? He's a person, so he's going to die anyway. But in the story, he has to die a very meaningful death. He can't just go off and die of pancreatitis or a swollen whatever. He has to die a meaningful death trying to save his son. And that's the point of it. That was love. You don't know that as you're watching it, but he was sacrificing himself for his son. Much like somebody who sacrificed themselves for us. Jesus, right? That's, whether you believe in him or not, that's the story. That Jesus sacrificed himself. He was showing us love, the sacrifice. Then he told us to go and love one another as I loved you. Make those sacrifices. So being told you're pretty, not giving somebody any crap, telling them that they're perfect just the way they are, those are not sacrifices. Taking gifts from people, well, those aren't sacrifices. Those are all counterfeit love. And it's important because right now you are getting counterfeit love. And right now, as you watch this, I don't know. I'm hoping it has turned into real love. But there are people, and this is what I'm trying to prevent since you're getting counterfeit love right now. One, I'm trying to show you actual love, and that's the beauty of actual love. It can exist in this existence and in the next. It can come from somebody who's no longer with us. One of the ways that used to happen were love letters. People would write love letters to each other, and if one of them passed, those letters were there, expressing the love. These are my love letters to you, if I'm not around. And you need to be able to identify the real stuff. Because if you go off believing that these counterfeit $100 bills are real money, and you have a big stack of them, and one day you're like, you come to find out this is all fake. Well, that's a problem. You have to be able to identify the real stuff and accumulate it too. But the only way to accumulate it is to know what it is. Then you can stock up in your savings account. And you can spend it. Go out in the world and spend your love. Share it. Love, I'm trying to think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow, Maslaw. Look it up. I'm not going to look it up right now, but I think like safety is number one. and then shelter, and then love, and all that stuff. And that's true. I might even argue that love is down there at the bottom of your most basic needs. But if you go up the hierarchy, you get to self-actualization. And a lot of people have no idea what that means. Self-actualization? What? Well, it's becoming your actual self. What God intended us to be. All of us have a role we're playing in this madness. And if we aren't our actual selves, we can't fulfill that role. We can't do our job. The only way to get there is to attain real love. Because, for example, I'm just going to pick one here, say two people get married because they find each other physically attractive. You know that's not going to last, right? Because your appearances will fade, change, and then what? Then you're looking at each other when you're 78 years old going, probably a lot younger than that. If you make it to 78, that'd be pretty nice. But two 25-year-olds who are like, you're pretty, yeah, you're handsome, okay, let's get married. We're in love. No, you're not. And by 40, you're going to be single. And then you're not going to know what real love is. Love is keep working towards that self-actualization to become our best possible self. And then people throw out that term of, I'm living my best life. Anybody who has to say that is not living their best life. When you have to announce something to the world, you are not doing it. Guaranteed, nobody who is strong, powerful, independent, brave, or courageous has to label themselves that. And nobody's independent in the first place. If you're independent, you're a hermit out in the sticks. Nobody's independent. I'm not. It's a nasty term that gets thrown around. I will say it 1,000 times. I'm where I'm at because of a lot of people who helped me, including Mom and a lot of people that I don't really speak to anymore. It doesn't mean that they actually did something good for me, but they definitely contributed to who I am. All right, there's that rant. But if you never have built up that bank, that savings account of love, you go through life doing things in the same way that someone who never accumulated any money and they realize, oh my God, I have no money. What are they going to do? They're going to start going to every single person they can, trying to get love. This sucks pretty hard for, it sucks for both genders, but for females, this is what is referred to as daddy issues. Dad didn't love them enough. I just talked to a girl the other night who was telling me about just how shit her dad is. And her love bank was a former student of mine who called me up to tell me that she was moving on to something bigger and better. And I was like, hell yeah. And she complimented me and telling me, she's like, because she's 24, whatever she is, I don't know. But she was complimenting and telling me how much I helped her. I'm like, hell yeah, you're doing great. I would love for my daughters to grow up and be just like you. And I was trying to build up her love bank. So you don't have any cash, you don't have any love, whichever one. You go out in the world seeking it. For a lot of girls, they'll just go man to man, trying to find that love, not realizing that that is the exact opposite of what men are looking for. So, for someone who's never had their love bank, built up, usually from parents and then friends and other family members, you get that counterfeit love. Well, what do you do? Like for me, I'll tell you my story. When all the crap went down, I found out that I had been given counterfeit love. I was in that exact position. of having been given counterfeit love my entire life. It was convenient. And when it wasn't convenient for those people anymore, oh no, but love is not convenient. Love is doing it no matter what. It doesn't mean they're involved in your lives. Like, for example, I love the people I talked about. I love them very much, so long as they change their ways. Stop betraying me. You got it. 100%. What do you need? So my love bank was in the tank. That's what happened between me and Mom. Mom, unfortunately, she was in the same boat. She probably won't be able to admit it, but she got counterfeit love her entire life. That's probably going to strike a pretty ugly chord, but it's really true. You don't, as a father, you don't tell any kid ever that they were an accident. And you don't continue to do that throughout their lives like it's some sort of a joke. I experienced that, and Mom experienced that too. That's not love, telling a kid that they were an accident. You don't let a kid just go out, do crazy. And that's what happens is kids will seek love by acting out, doing wild shit. What they're looking for is discipline, which is part of love. Discipline comes from the word disciple. Jesus' disciples, did he love them? Oh yeah. Does a teacher love their disciples, the students? Yeah. Does a teacher discipline the students? Oh yeah. Can you imagine a teacher that just let their students do whatever the hell they wanted? Yeah, that teacher would be fired really quick. But Mom's dad did that all the time. She'd come home drunk, hungover, and sit at the breakfast table and no. Yeah, I know you came home at 3 a.m. We'll joke about that 20 years later. Later on in life, he provided her invoices. Can you believe that? Invoices. Hey, here's how much you owe me for being your dad. You were an accident, by the way, and I'm not going to take the time to discipline you, but that's how much money you owe me. That's not love. Girls, you will never see an invoice from me. Ever. Being your dad has been the most rewarding thing that's ever happened to me in my life. You make me want to be a better person. All of you, I don't know if you see them around, all these stupid pieces of paper that I've accumulated over the years saying how accomplished I am. That was you guys. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, even before you existed. You drove me to be better, not to go get a job at an insurance company and sit there for 50 years. And just, okay, well, this is good enough. Here's your invoice. That's not love. That's counterfeit. Amy, when you were born, yeah, Mom's mom wouldn't fly out to Japan because she didn't want to get on an airplane for 8 hours. No, I don't want to do that. And then when I spoke up about that, I was told I was hated. Yeah. I hate you, JJ. Oh. Yeah, I'm pointing out how you have a daughter and now a granddaughter, and you should probably fly out to Japan to see them. No, I don't want to. Okay. I hate you. Oh, okay. That's love for you, huh? Good job. So Mom was in that same predicament I was. Our love banks were tanking. What are you going to do? I don't fault Mom one damn bit for what she did. And I fault myself pretty hard. I should have been stronger. But you go out and you start seeking love in all sorts of different ways. And then one day the voice of resentment comes in. And a resentment is like a little pain in the ass friend you have that tells you you didn't do anything wrong. But you gotta, in order to have that friend that tells you you didn't do anything wrong, you gotta take all of your love, all of your savings account, no matter what's in it. That's the cost of having that friend, that resentment. Excuse me. Any love you ever have accumulated, the moment you have a resentment, crave revenge, want to get even, teach somebody a lesson, all that love's gone. It's over with. There's no more love. Right down to zero, maybe even into the negative a little bit, just like a bank account. You can't have resentment and love anything. That was one thing I actually found out. I'm not a big proponent of AA. I went to it and learned a lot. Not a big fan of it. But one thing that was remarkably useful were the 12 steps. I've told you that in videos many times. The 12 steps are a remarkable way to live life for anyone. For anyone. It's phenomenal. And step 4, you find out, okay, what are my resentments? Because with those resentments, you're not going to be able to have any love. You can't do it. It's not possible. Trust me. I've seen it at this point, as I sit here right now, I've seen it hundreds of times. Anyone who carries resentments, there's no love coming out of them. They're dry. Their bank account is negative. So step 4 encourages people, not encourages, you got to do it. Well, if you want to actually accomplish the steps, something I did because I needed to do it for you. I needed to better myself for you. You find out what your resentments, you sit and you think and you really look at what are your resentments. Usually you get blindsided by this. Hey, your sponsor, what are your resentments? And you list them. And then you have to figure out your role. What did you do in order to create that resentment? Most people that I've met, will tell you, I didn't do anything. That little friend, you just have to take all of your money and hand it over. I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Well, it was nice knowing you. You got to let those people go. The moment you hear somebody say, I didn't do anything wrong, let them go. That is a person that has a deep, deep problem. In fact, I'm going to show you a video here of someone who can't list a single thing that they've ever done wrong or a mistake they've made, a weakness. It's wild. You'll see. But you get those resentments out of your life. And then the question arises, okay, well, here I am. I've gotten rid of the resentments. Okay, so no more paying that person to tell me I didn't do anything wrong. I've done a lot wrong and shit, I got to fix this. Well, I need to build up this account because I can't just go out in the world with an empty account. This sucks, whether it be money or love. So what do? Well, most people, if you're dead broke, you're going to need a loan. You're going to go to somebody and say, hey, I need love. Who are you going to go to? Who can give you love like that? Who can help you become your best self, for real? Not live your best life, but actually become your best self. And there's nobody that I know of in this plane of existence that can do that. But that's where this came from. That's where this came from. Every one of the changes that I was able to make came from God. Now, I went to God. Actually, well, there's a little bit of cloudiness in that about who came to who. By this point, you've heard about my experience. I can't explain it to you because it's just not. I would need a poet, as they say, but I can't put it into words. And it was much like a very loving father getting into a kid's face and going, you better knock it off. And that father wouldn't do that unless he loved that child very, very much. So that's what happened to me, and then I begged forgiveness and got it, which I still haven't even forgiven myself, or the former self. I know it's me, but it's not me. Anyway, I say that all the time. And I got a loan of unbelievable love. It's mind-boggling. Now, just like if you were to go to a bank and ask for a loan, God's got some rules about how you spend the money, as the bank would too. They would want to see a plan. The bank, that is. God has rules about how you use his love. And you can't go to God for love and then go and misuse it. That doesn't work. You can't go to church and then take kids and alienate them from their father. You can't do those sorts of things and expect to get love. Now, God still loves you. But in much the same way that I don't keep in contact with those people out there who just want money from me and want free plane tickets, I don't keep in contact with them because that's all they want. God's going to kind of go, hey, you know what? You're doing your own program, so the blessings are going to stop. And without fail, every single time this happens, I swear to God this happens, the person's health starts going to shit. Every time. Their social life, their social interactions start going to shit. They start losing friends. They wonder why they can't keep friends. They wonder why nobody remembers them. Family interactions start tapering off. People around them literally start dying. I've watched this. I told you about all the people that I used to oversee and all the people I've met along this journey. And they go out and they try to ask for God's love, and then they go out and do horrific things. Their health, their social life, work sometimes, most of the time, it all starts, God's like, okay, do your thing. I'll be over here if you need me. You got to go to God and you got to start actually doing his plan. And then it's, whatever you need. It's whatever you need, not whatever you want. That's important. Because you might still want stuff. It's not in the plan right now. So you go and you get that love, and I'll tell you, it's phenomenal, because then the opposite happens. People gravitate to you. I have the best friends that I've ever had in my entire life. People that that happened not too long ago. Call it 2 a.m. because I'm just having a rough night. They happen. But that's why God puts these people in our lives, is at 2 a.m. when things are just feeling dreadful, God has put hey, you call that person I gave you. Okay. Call that person and lend me some money, lend me some love, and then I give them love, and it's phenomenal. For you girls, I hope it never comes to the point where you have to go begging God for love. I hope it just stays that you're doing God's will, and that love and those blessings just continue. But that's the point of these videos, is so that you know genuine love. There's no lying. There's no accusations. Sure, there's pointing things out. Hey, just so you know, they're doing this, and you need to know about that, because that's dishonesty, and dishonesty and love never jive. There is no such thing as love along with lies. It doesn't occur. That's much like a resentment. But for you, you'll be able to spot it. You can spot the really good counterfeit love. I told you I wasn't going to get political, but I'll tell you, I'm just stuck in it. And by the way, whatever happens in your lives, you guys, even if you were accidents, you're still loved, and I would never tell you that. But you guys lived here before you ever lived in this world. You're partners. Always be there for each other, no matter what. There's gonna be times where you piss each other off, but share that love back and forth, and that was the purpose of that. That's where that came from in my heart, is that you would always have somebody and around the same age to share that love bank with, back and forth. Hey, I love you. Hey, I love you too. Come here. And then call each other out. If you see the other one doing something silly, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I love you. That's why I'm speaking up here. That's an excellent love bank. Dogs too. That's why people love dogs. That's why the people that don't like dogs, those are always sketchy people. Because that's all a dog is. A dog is a love bank given to us by God. There's endless love in a dog. Endless love in a dog. People talk about, I need, dog energy. Well, no, you're looking for the love. That's what that is. Is I need dog energy. No, what you're looking for is the affection from the dog so you can go out into the world and not be an asshole. That's how that works. Just like money. A dog is a damn ATM in your house. But remember, they're pack animals. They feed off that same sort of energy of love, of sharing love with one another. Don't have one damn dog in your house. They need it too. Imagine being stuck in your house 24/7 all by yourself. Oh, the dog's going to be okay while I go to work. You try it. I'm not talking to you girls. I'm talking to the people that do that. Two at least, so they can share the love back and forth. So their love banks stay nice and full. That's my rant on love. Maybe, I don't know. It's important. What sucks for me is knowing that Mom's love bank is still in the tank. And she has gone out and sought love. That's why kids join gangs. Think about that for a second. That's why kids join gangs. That's why kids go and get into trouble. Kids, gang members. I knew plenty of them. Oh boy. They always had a miserable home life. So what would they do? They'd go out and seek it. Mom has essentially joined a gang of man-haters. Now, I know I'm speaking pretty freely here, but remember my sin. My biggest sin in life is being a coward. Not speaking up when things needed to be said. Because I tried to fit in with my family. I knew those things were wrong. Back then, I had a real sneaking suspicion. This money doesn't look real. This love sure doesn't feel like love. So I thought, well, if I just try to fit in, they'll love me. No. It was convenient for them. So kids go off and join gangs, and that's essentially what's happened to Mom. She's met a bunch of people who will tell her that she's done nothing wrong, the resentment. And she's met a bunch of people that share similar beliefs. They've all been pissed off by men too. Yeah, no, keep going. Yeah. Just like a gang. That's no different. That can happen to you at any age. There's nothing, I don't fault Mom for it. Love her to death. I know what's going on. I've been there. So, okay, enough about that. Actually, I want to show you this video with regard to love. Let's go to the old YouTube. It's useful. Because I just thought about something. You probably won't know who he is, but there is a skateboarder by the name of Nija Houston.
Hey, little guy.
There's a skateboarder by the name of Nija Houston. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing, and a super, super, super nice guy. Like, off the charts, kind of nice. Is my hair sticking up? Whatever. He's out doing his thing, and this video, he runs into 3 kids who know exactly who he is, and all of them are just like, oh, that's Nigel Houston. And so let's watch the video here.
You got board sled?
So, I don't know what the helmet thing is about. Jeez. Stop, moms. Stop with the helmets. I skated for 15 years. I never once hit my head. At least not the crown of it. Teeth? Oh yeah, teeth took a beating. A mouthpiece might not be a bad idea. Well, you can't breathe then. Anyway, so this kid was trying to do what's called a board slide on this rail. And I just like, come on, do it. It's encouraging him to be his best self. Push past those fears, the uncomfortable. To push past that. Maybe. It'll be the biggest one I've ever done. Let's see it. Let's do it. He tries it. Oh. And what do you hear? Yeah. Did he make it? No, he didn't make it. What did Nigel and his buddies do? Yeah, encouragement, right? Nigel's love bank. I've met him one time. Nigel's love bank is, he just exudes it. Anyway, kid tries it again. Ooh. Oh, look at the look on his face of, oh my God, this is possible. I can do this. He almost landed that one. Fell a little bit. This is actually much more important right here. These, see his wrists? Yeah, he's not going to hit his head because every skateboarder catches themselves with their hands. Which, wrist guards. That one, 100%, I think, especially people who are learning how to skate, you don't need a damn helmet. But wrist guards, yeah. You could probably stand to use wrist guards because having broke both of them, yeah. Whammo! And then it happens. Whew. It's rough. So, here is where there's 2 types. Well, there's one type of love. There's 2 ways to express it. That kid's hurt. There's no doubt about it, and he's actually going to be hurt more in about 15 seconds when it kicks in. Little known fact. Actually kicking a guy in the balls, what you're doing is scaring him. The pain doesn't set in for, it's probably about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, yeah, about 5 seconds. There's a delayed reaction. So actually kicking a guy in the groin, the initial reaction, it's frightening though. Nobody wants to have that happen. So, what would your average mother do right now? I'm telling you this because I want to show you 2 different ways to express love. Now, the mom is expressing love. What would the mom do if she's the camera person? Drop the camera. Oh my God, you're never skateboarding again. I'm being general about this. No, we're never letting you skateboard again. She'd chuck that thing into a bonfire. What would a dad do? A loving dad. A loving dad would be there, number 1. But what would he do? Well, first we're going to have to watch a replay. Let's see that. Oh! Okay. He took it pretty hard there. That's a pretty hard slam. Pretty hard. He's in genuine pain. Is he going to be permanently damaged? No. He's going to be okay. What's Nigel do? Gives him a high five, pats him on the back. Nice job, dude. That was better, is what he said. That was better. He's encouraging him. Hey, you're hurt. You're okay. Keep going. There's 2 different ways to go here. when people are struggling, and the kid's struggling right now, you can say, "Oh my God, that's so terrible. Oh, you must be in so much pain." Or you can say, "You good? Yeah, you're good. Hey, keep going." That's love. Keep going. Keep going. You're good. Because what happens if when the kid is doubled over in pain, grabbing his nuts, and somebody comes up, "Oh my God, oh, are you okay? Oh. What's the kid learn? That's the important part. What's the kid learn? The kid learns, oh, I hurt myself, and I'm getting attention. I'm being shown love. If I'm the victim, I can get love." Or you can do what Nigel's doing here and say, hey, that was better. Yeah, you're okay. Keep going. You're good. Now the kid ends up...
It's better than landing the trick. If your feet are like this, if you
it was better than landing the trick. It actually was better than landing the trick. And we'll get to that one in a second. I'm going to circle back to that one. This is a long podcast this morning. What are we at? Oh, God, we're already 50 minutes in. So Nigel hops on. He's like, hey, here's what you want to do. Here. And the kid ends up not doing it.
there,
Yeah.
then it's going to stay on that much more.
You know he's gonna do good in skating if you can take a sack like that and just like
walk it off.
Not easy to find kids like that nowadays.
Not easy to find kids.
Not.
Not easy to find people like that nowadays. That'll get up. Yeah. Nice frickin' job. Nice job, kid. Something I came across that I was so... I was blown away. I was completely blown away. And if you can see, it's making me smile. The first time that I was 17, 18, I was what's called a midshipman. Got to wear a flight suit and hang out at the squadron at Miramar in the F-14. Still got the patches up there. And I got to do a flight in the pattern. They're called FAM flights, familiarization flights. They throw you in the back seat and they let you have a ride. And I got two. The first one was just the field, and then the first time I flew out to an aircraft carrier, I had a pilot whose name was Nasty. True story. And I stumbled across Nasty.
And so priority A...
That is Mike Manazar, a former F-14 pilot who flew me out to USS Constellation. And to see his face was pretty cool. But there's an interview with him in which he talks about something with regard to what the kid, hey, that's better than landing the trick. He's talking about when he learned to land on an aircraft carrier. If you don't know, landing a plane in general is one of the hardest things to learn how to do. Landing on an aircraft carrier is insanely hard. Landing it at night is off the charts as far as difficulty.
Was a squadron that was about to go on deployment or already on deployment was going to get a new pilot because they needed a replacement pilot. And so you had to do well through the training squadron and you had to do well at the boat so they could count on you to just, be ready to go and go out there and not need a set of workups. And because I had gone to the boat twice in A4s and I failed my first carrier qualification in A4s.
So he's talking about the first time he did what they call CQ, which is carrier qualification. Brand new pilots who have learned how to land on aircraft carriers, you got to go out and actually do it. He didn't make it the first time. Messed up. And was given a second chance.
Because I kept pushing the nose down to land. I landed 6 times, but I was not doing the right thing. And I didn't quite figure it out through the 2 touch and goes and 6 arrested landings in the A4. So I got another chance. That's a story in the book too. It felt like a failure to me. But what I actually recognized is I now recognize what failing at the boat felt like. So I knew how to fix the problems. And in fact, as I mentioned to people, I like people who failed the first time because they see what those deviations look like, and oftentimes if you don't see the deviations or you're really good at it, you won't know what to do.
Yeah. People these days are so afraid of failure, not realizing that the failure is the best part. That is what teaches you. If that kid had landed that trick, he wouldn't understand the struggle and pushing through the uncomfortable. If he had just hopped on, boom, boom, landed. The struggle to get the accomplishment is so vitally important. I wish I should probably do an entire episode on failing and what it teaches you. I have failed, despite all of this, way more times. I couldn't even begin to count how many times I've failed before I succeeded. The point is to keep going. You give it all you got. Rule number 1, you give it all you got, and you don't hold back. Holding back because you're afraid of failure is a recipe for disaster. So there's Nasty. That was cool to see him. That was actually really cool. But that ties into this, which I wanted to show you something really fast. Or maybe I don't. What are we at? 55 minutes in. It's another skateboarding thing that I came across. And it's Jamie Thomas, who I skated with a few times. He's about my age. Oh, wonderful. We got an ad popping up. But Jamie Thomas, I skated with him a few times. I don't know him, just skated with him. Back in the day. He's about my age. And you wouldn't know it to look at Jamie Thomas. But he's very successful.
5 times is, that's a lot of time to think about.
Very successful. And he went to this place up in San Francisco.
How many times can you do that?
Where he wanted to do this trick called an impossible 50-50 on this big ledge down a very large set of stairs. It's a really hard, scary trick because his board can land here and slip out, and then his head goes back onto those stairs. Now, he should probably be wearing a helmet, but he's not gonna. He knows how to fall at this point. He could slide out and hit his head here. It's a dangerous trick. And boom, hits his teeth, smacks his face. Not like I said, the face takes it. Great choice of glasses. But he tries this trick dozens and dozens and dozens of times, maybe hundreds. He doesn't stop. Your average person would say, why the hell are you doing that? What's the point? It's the accomplishment. Almost lands it there. But what I want to, the point I'm getting at is he doesn't stop. Now, if you were to watch a skateboarding video, you would never see all of these attempts. They have promotional videos. They want you to buy their skateboard. So Jamie Thomas's company, they would want to, you to buy their skateboard. So you'd see Jamie Thomas and all of his teammates doing tricks. And you don't see this stuff. You don't see the struggle. You just see the trick. You don't see the beating he took in order to accomplish that trick. But finally he lands it.
He has
Oops. Almost there. And then he lands it. It's got a good style. He's always had one of the best styles ever. And then there's not much emotion. Why is there not much emotion? He's just got a little grin on his face. Do you know why? If you watch that trick again, watch it one more time. That's the almost. Well, here it is. Did you see it?
He has a fire, dude, inside that very few people have.
Yeah.
Technically, he did the impossible 50-50, but one of his trucks was off.
Yeah. The front truck, the front axle, wasn't on the ledge. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. What do you think he's going to do? Well, he's just been trying this trick probably 200 times. And he couldn't get it. He finally gets it, but one of his trucks is off. He's got to try it another 200 times, right? No.
And someone's like, oh, it looks good from this angle. And Jamie was just like, no. And literally walked back up the stairs, impossible 50-50 the next try, perfectly grinding, and did it. Who does it like that? That's champion style.
Nails it perfectly. How? Well, you remember last week or last video, we talked about the 900 and how for years and decades people couldn't do that trick. Then Tony Hawk was just like, God, I'm gonna do it. Same thing, right? And he does it. And now 6-year-old, 7-year-old kids are doing it. Why? Because Tony Hawk proved to the world that it was possible. And now people are like, hey, this is possible, I can do it. Jamie Thomas showed himself that trick was possible. And even though he had tried it 100, 200 times, the moment he figured out, oh, it's possible, his body knew. There was confidence. And he nails the second one. Even better. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. With regard to, and I'm going to wrap this up here pretty quick. With regard to, where are we at? Oh my God, we're an hour in. I'm enjoying talking to you today. You know, you guys are like my therapists. Anytime I'm having it rough, I come to you. Hopefully you can learn something from these things, whether it be something good or just say, oh my God, Dad, the whack job. At least you're learning something, right? With regard to the thing about being damp and putting my clothes on, I've had two different types of... I've had body dysmorphia my whole life. I always disliked my body, and I thought that was just me, but I went through both versions of it. I was skinny and thought I was fat. Later on in life, I became fat when you guys knew me more, you know. And I told myself I was skinny. Lied to myself. And in both instances, I didn't like my clothes sticking to me because when I was skinny, it made me feel like I was fat. And when I was fat, it made me not... It disproved my lie to myself. Because my clothes are sticking on real tight. And I'm like, yeah. No, they're not sticking. I'm skinny. I started finding out like how common this is, and this girl's jacked, but it's just this long video.
Joey Small.
All these people
So let me ask you this.
share the same thought process I do.
Absolutely.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I feel like everyone has.
1000%.
All the time.
All the time. Every day. If you run into this, for me, and I'm bringing it up because for me, for the longest time, I thought, this is just me, I'm weird, I hate my body, oh my God, don't look in the mirror. It caused a lot of problems. The love bank it caused problems in my love bank because I thought I had to put on a show to get love. I had to be a certain body type in order to get love, and that's not love. A lot of people still deal with that. So, as far as the love bank thing and body dysmorphia, your outward appearance should not tie into getting love. Now, if you're either anorexic, which is a really unhealthy condition, or very overweight, which is also an unhealthy condition, someone who loves you should say to you, like I talked about before, like, hey, something's up here. You're eating too much food. And quite frankly, if somebody that I love drank too much water, I would bring that up to them. Like, hey, you're drinking too much water. Are you familiar with electrolytes? Do you know what can happen? Yeah, that's too much water. You don't want to do that. How dare you? You're water shaming me. Oh God. I'm not going to. Yeah, we're going to do it. We'll wrap this up. 5 more minutes. Because I want to show you what happens to people when they've put on a show in order to get love. Here's the problem with that. If you put on a show, if you lie to yourself and to your world in order to get love, if you tell people, No, this is the real me. I'm perfect. I'm not bald. I have a toupee on my head. If you go through life doing that, you're not receiving real love. Because one, you are lying to people. They know it, and they're going to make fun of you behind your back. And two, even if it was real love, they're not loving the real you. It's a fake you. It can't be love for you if it's a fake you. So people start believing that they can't make mistakes. That's sick. And that they have no weaknesses. And I saw this, and this is something I've thought for a long time. This is something I've known for a long time. I'm not, please, I don't think of me as political, but this was wild. I want you to see it definitively.
To give an example of a mistake that she has made.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from,
Look, she's stammering. I can tell you 12 mistakes right now. And not the kind of mistakes where people say, well, I've picked the wrong people in my life. See, it's not really me, it's them, it's the people I picked. I'm okay. It was all the other people that made the mistakes. No.
If you've ever parented a child, you know you make lots of mistakes.
She's not a parent. Do you see the nervous laughter? The nervous laughter is a dead giveaway that you are not being your real you. I'm guilty of it, and I know it. She's trying to get people... This is funny. See, no. You're not being the real you. It's frightening. It's always been frightening to me. My biological mother did that laugh all the time.
In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked...
Look at her. She's stammering. She can't think of a single mistake she's made.
Very hard at making sure that I am well versed on...
And I want you to listen to this. She's listing her mistake that she thought of.
Issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
Did you hear that?
Role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
This is important. I want you to be able to recognize this in the same way you can recognize real love and fake love. This is fake. She just said, what I do is I stay well versed in things. It would be a mistake not to do that, but I don't do that. But that would be a mistake. But I don't have any mistakes. That's someone who has put on a show her entire life and received what she thought was love. She never received actual love. Her love bank is dry, and she's trying to get it now by running for president. She wants the adoration of people. This is the same thing.
Who's the guy get a right to say what a woman is? Women only know what women are.
I'm not touching that.
And here,
American citizens tax.
things which are priorities, as the case were, overcome them while you're in office.
That's a great question, Joe.
Watch. What weaknesses do you
have? Goes along with mistakes. What weaknesses do you have? I can tell you a whole boatload of weaknesses I have. Yeah. My weaknesses plague me. I don't like them. I'll tell you one right now. I try to help people way too much. that may not seem like a weakness, but it is. Because what I'm doing is I'm acting as though I'm trying to fill my love bank. That's what I'm doing. It came from being a kid. And it's a weakness because it gets me into trouble all the time. It gets me into a lot of trouble. And it's a weakness because I don't have the strength to say no. It needs to be done. This sounds like it's not a strength. It is a weakness. And I have to learn, and I'm trying very hard to say no. No more. No more. It hurts like a son of a gun. It's one of the hardest things I'm struggling with it right now, believe it or not.
You bring to the table, and how do you plan to overcome them while you're in office?
That's a great question, Joe. Well, I am certainly not perfect, so let's start there.
There's that cackle, that laugh. Well, if it's weird when I do it, why is it not weird when she does it?
And
now I want you to watch her face very closely. She's looking off in the distance, trying to think of a weakness she has. But remember, this is somebody who has thought throughout her entire life that she can't be weak. If she shows weakness, she won't get the counterfeit love that she's been getting.
I think that
Stammering.
perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think
She doesn't know what to say. And she actually is in pain. She's in pain trying to figure this out. It has now caused a short circuit. It has caused a short circuit in her brain. Watch this. Watch her face again.
perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's...
That's a short circuit. So this is perhaps a weakness. Some people would call it a strength. Those were her words.
Strength is I really do value having a team of very smart people around me who bring to my decision-making process different perspectives. My team will tell you I am constantly saying, let's kick the tire on that. Let's kick the tire.
This is her saying her weakness. She can't come up with one. She's saying that her surrounding herself with well-educated people is a weakness. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. These questions blew her mind. That is what is commonly referred to as a sociopath. She doesn't understand. She knows the reaction she's supposed to have, but she doesn't know how to actually generate it. She doesn't believe she's made any mistakes. She doesn't believe she has any weaknesses. The irony is she does, deep down. But it's short-circuit. No, that thing, that one, that was her brain short-circuiting. I don't know how to handle this. Okay. Where are we at? What does that say? Good Lord, I'm freaking feeling a little blabby today. No, we're not going to do it. I was going to show you the video that set me off in the first place. Getting all spicy. Which, by the way, when you show vulnerability and someone shits on you, big, gigantic red flag of not love, that's the fake kind. So, for example, and I hope you do have this strength because we all become moody. Every one of us become moody. That's the way it goes. I'm on estrogen blockers. As we sit here right now, I'm on estrogen blockers, and my heart goes out to all the women watching. It really does. I think I've told you this before. I had to get put on estrogen blockers, and the endocrinologist asked me, like, hey, you get moody a lot, mood swings, indecisiveness, a little panic. I'm like, yeah! I started going down the list. Yeah, your estrogen is through the roof. We're going to need to get you on estrogen blockers right now. And he laughed and he said it was because he knows me. It was because of all my time hanging around 3 females. My estrogen had gone through the roof, so it helped. You probably shouldn't be on estrogen blockers, but as soon as I got that regulated, doing a lot better. But I still get moody. And occasionally I will wave the white flag and say, whew, I am being moody. And if anybody ever says to you something like, yeah, you are, or you're always moody, okay, hey, bye. I'll see you later. That's them trying to shit on you to try and detract from their own weaknesses. You showed weakness. The normal human reaction is to show weakness with you. That's called being empathetic. The sociopathic tendency is to shit on you and point out, yeah, you're always moody. So I'm being a little bit moody and spicy today. It was because of this. Here, yeah, I'm just going to show you this one. And then we're going to call it quits because I do have to start my day. This is going to be an ad. God damn it with the ads. It's not a sin to say God damn it. He knows what's in here. It's just a stupid thing I say. I don't actually mean that. And even if I did. People. Somebody asked me the other day if I go to church on Sundays. I said, no, I don't go to church on Sundays. That's a sin. Really? It's a sin, huh? Can you show me the documentation on that? If you don't mind, show me the documentation on not going to church being a sin. Well, it says honor the Sabbath. What is it? What was that? What did it say? Honor the Sabbath. How the hell are you getting go to church out of honor the Sabbath? That bothered me. Honor the Sabbath means set aside a day for God. Do all your stuff. Do all the things you got to do. And set aside a day for God. Hopefully it's more than a day. For me, it's every day. I do my best to honor God every single day. This woman gets in a cab. And this woman, or the driver, calls her Miss. Let's see the reaction.
Thank you, Miss. I don't.
Because I'm trying to be bright.
But how do you know I identify it as a miss? I might be a miss.
Identify it?
I might be something else.
I don't know. I'm not asking for identity.
This guy is just trying to be
I
polite.
think it was disrespectful.
That's disrespectful is what she says. When I say women are getting out of control, it's this kind of crap. Just trying to be a pain in the ass. And for me, it sparked a chord because Mom's attorney did this exact same thing to me when I tried to be polite to her. I called her miss or ma'am or something like that, and she lost her goddamn mind. That's just the kind of people they are. The love bank. Her love bank is empty. The Mom's attorney, love bank bone dry. Been getting fed counterfeit love her whole life. Thought accomplishments was going to get her the real stuff. Didn't work. Same with the CLR. Pissed off as all hell, not realizing that attitude is actually what's draining. They got those resentments that they're paying. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay, enough of that. All right, I love you. I'm going to go get my day started. A lot of ranting today. That's a long one. Anyway. All of this love is going your direction. It's real love. And it comes with whatever sacrifice that I will ever need to make for you. I don't care what it is. And it's not going to be affected by a couple of whack jobs who are trying to intimidate me. No. Nice try, ladies. Off you go. So, yeah. You are genuinely loved. And I really hope that it won't take these videos. If you're watching these videos, something terribly wrong has happened. But in any case, yeah. I love you guys. Now go out and share the love that I give to you. Share that with the world. Sound good? I love you.